What's up everybody, and welcome to the Mario Party 2 Minigames tier list. So I've been running a lot of Mario Party speedruns on my Twitch channel lately, especially Mario Parties 1, 2, and 4. But I thought, why don't we do tier lists for each respective Mario Party game and the minigames within it. Also, this month, Mario Party Superstars is launching in just a few weeks. So we're doing a lot of Mario Party content on the channel, so if you like that, please help out the channel, don't forget to subscribe, and let me know your favorite Mario Party or just your favorite minigames overall. Okay, now jumping into the list. First up, we have Abandoned Ship. Abandoned Ship is a 4-player minigame where you have to mash A to climb up, but you also have to move left and right, collect coins, avoid banisters, and avoid the cheap cubes from the water rising up. Honestly, this is a really fun game. I kind of think of Mario Party 2, I think of Abandoned Ship a lot. It just seems like the quintessential Mario Party game. It's very quick, requires a little bit of mashing, a little left-right movement, and it's pretty fair to everybody. The cheap cubes, it's very hard to avoid the cheap cubes, no matter what skill you are, or how fast you mash, or how slow you mash. So I think it's a pretty fair game. Overall, really fun game. It's a solid A tier Mario Party 2 game. Next up, we got Bombs Away. Bombs Away was in Mario Party 1, but Mario Party 1 Bombs Away was actually worse than this one. Mario Party 2 added bullet bills, bonsai builds, but it's still the same game overall, a 4-player free-for-all where you have to survive on the island. The cool thing about this game is anybody can play in any style. You could be an antagonizer, try to get people off the island, or you guys could all work together and just survive. Everybody could win 10 coins or nobody could win. It's just a very fun game, and that very last bonsai build is super fun to avoid and dodge. This is definitely a B-tier game. So much better than Mario Party 1, that one. And by the way, I'm a huge Mario Party 1 fan. Okay, next up we have Archer Rivals. Archer Rivals is a 1v3 game where the 1 is an archer and the 3 are targets. This game is a bit lame in the fact that it's kind of slow, as well as you can get kind of screwed from the AI. There's 2 extra targets that are AIs, and you can get sandwiched between them, and then the player can just shoot you down. Also, they get a lot of coins for taking down the AIs as well. I just think movement options and escape, it just feels like, hey, I can move left and right, and the player 1 has, can survive no matter what. Even if he doesn't get all 3, he's still going to get a pretty hefty amount. So it's pretty D tier for me. Talking about fair 1v3 games, we have Bomb Barrage. Bomb Barrage is a super fun 1v3 where the 1 player is in the raft while the 3 players throw bombs at him, or bombs at them. What's really cool about this is not only is the controls a little hard for the 3 teams, but the 1 player has a lot of freedom and control, a lot of good speed, and the 3 players can work together. It's just really fun overall. If you're the one who gets the bomb in, bombs can bounce off the raft, they can be super close. It brings the hecticness and joy of everyone together, which is really important for Mario Party. I just think 3-player games, 1v3 games are very hard for everybody to have a lot of fun, but 1 person could be the hero, or, you can all fail together. It's a pretty fair game on both aspects. It's a solid B-tier game. Bobsled Brawn is a continuing game from Mario Party 1 where it's a 2v2 and you just race down in a bobsled. I really like Bobsled Run's theme, but I think Bobsled Run was done a little bit better in Mario Party 1. The map is pretty big in this game, and I mean, if you don't get any of the boosts, it'll take you about 2 minutes to finish the map. If you get most of the boosts, it should be about 60 seconds. However, overall, Bobsled Run is just an okay game. However, the penguin sleds are definitely super cute, even if they have that little X butthole thing. C tier. Alright, next we have Facelift. Facelift is an S tier game, always will be, but the problem in Mario Party 2 is it's locked behind battle minigame rather than just a 4-player free-for-all. However, Facelift will always be super fun. It's a game from Mario Party 1 where you just press A and you morph the face you have into what the designated face is. There's not much to be said about it other than it's one of the classic and one of the best games in Mario Party history. Next up from there we have Bumper Balls. Bumper Balls is another game from Mario Party 1. However, Bumper Balls was never good even in Mario Party 1. It's a 4-player free-for-all where you just, try to knock each other out of the ring or the island. But the problem with this game is that it only really works against computers or computers on computers. With human players, it's really a lot of draws that go on. Even though in Mario Party 2 they tried to add rocks and like little patches of dirt on some of the maps for Bumper Balls, the problem is just that human players are too smart. And yes, you could dance around the edges and try to bait them. However, it's really easy to get the same amount of speed and not be able to push anybody anywhere. And so this game has a lot of draws, so it's long, has a lot of draws, and it just becomes not fun at that point. So it's a D tier game, even the Mario Party 1 one, so. Next up, we got Bloomburst. This is another Mario Party 1 game. You guys are going to hear me say that a lot, by the way, in this video, because this is Mario Party 2. But Bloomburst is a Mario Party 1 game that was a free-for-all, but in Mario Party 2, it's a 2v2. Essentially, you press A and B. Alternatively, try to blow up the balloon, and whoever does it first. I just think this game works better as a free-for-all game in Mario Party 1 rather than the 2v2 version it has in this. However, I always had fun with it, and there's a lot of pressure that goes on, but it just doesn't have the same, the same feelings as it does in Mario Party 1. So I'm going to have to put this in C tier. But in Mario Party 1 it's an A, so overall it would be a B tier. Next up we got Bowl Over. Bowl Over is another game from Mario Party 1, however they added 2 bowls to this now, so you get twice the chances to bowl everyone over. Honestly, this game's pretty slow paced, and it's just bowling. There's not much to it. This is a solid D tier game. Next up we got Deep Sea Salvage. Deep Sea Salvage is the worst version of Hammer Drop from Mario Party 1. This one, it's like Buried Treasure, or I forgot the name of the ocean one, but just think of Buried Treasure meets Hammer Drop and in the water. The problem with this game is just that you can kind of float above, and you're able to take that area. There's no chance for you to overcome someone who's in a spot you want it to be in. I mean, everyone could collect coins here. You could play the guy who's playing on the bottom, try to get everything else. However, it just has limited movement options compared to Hammer Drop in number 1. And while everyone can get coins, it's just an okay game, O tier game. Also, I keep saying solid, so please, I must say something else. Alright, here we have Destruction Duet. Destruction Duet's pretty cool because it allows you to punch, kick, or ground pound / hip drop. It's essentially you beating up a statue of Bowser with your teammate faster than the other team. What's really cool about this is there's a lot of different ways to go about it. I just like the idea of freedom, movement options. I think that's something that's really cool actually. But overall, there's not really much to it. So I'm going to put this as a C tier 2v2 game. Next we have Crane Game. Crane Game is the same as Mario Party 1, but at the same time, it's completely different. So wouldn't that make it not the same? Well, the idea is the same. One player is the crane, it's a 1v3, and the 3 players drop like dolls. However, compared to Mario Party 1, now you have to pick up every player and drop them in. However, this game gives you a bunch of extra time with it, which you have to pick up as lockets put in, you'll get extra time. That kind of makes this one not as intense, in addition to the reward being pretty minute. Yeah, the thing with this game compared to 1 is 1 had a lot of pressure, because if you got picked, you lose half your coins to whoever's in the crane. In this game, it's more of, can I survive for the rest of my teammates? Oh, he's going to have all day to do this because he can get an extra 60 seconds in the game. And it's just kind of like, that's a little unfair for the ones, for the 3s versus the 1. So overall, this game gets a D. I know, crazy. I mean, I think Crane Game's a really fun, pressure-filled game, but in Mario Party 2, they just reward the 1 too much. We have Dizzy Dancing. Dizzy Dancing is essentially your controls are messed up. Whoever gets to the middle and gets that treble or cleft wins. I think this is a pretty fun game. It's very short, straight to the point. Well, the opposite of straight. It's all your controls could be reversed. They could be in any order. There are some spots that are, quote, a little bit better than other spots. However, really fun game, really simple game, and it is something I definitely see as like a good mini game. It's not great, it's not bad, it's a mini game, and it's a C tier game. Hexagon Heat. Hexagon Heat is just Mushroom Mix-Up. However, it is just a different theme of Mushroom Mix-Up. While the game is a 4-player free-for-all where you have to go to whatever color panel Toad calls for, you could jump, hip drop, and try to knock people off or block their entrance. The really fun part about it is the longer you play, the faster each color is, associated, and the floor drops with it. Now, while this game is exactly the same as the Mario Party 1 one, something about it is just not as aesthetically appeasing as the first game. However, because it's the exact same game, I still think Mushroom Mix-Up is one of the best mini games out there. It's a lot of fun, hectic moments. So this will be a S tier game, though I think in Mario Party 2, because it doesn't look as good, it's going to fall to A tier. However, overall, the mini game is super fun, and I totally love it way more in Mario Party 1 because I think I like the ocean more. Now we have Cake Factory. Cake Factory is a 2v2 minigame where one player grabs a cake and one player grabs a strawberry. And whoever has the most at the end wins. Now, this game is really dependent on your partner, which makes it a pretty fun minigame and also pretty hectic, especially if you miss a cake or strawberry. You have a pretty long delay. But overall, there's not much to this one other than pressing A at the correct time. It's kind of like Overcooked before Overcooked really became Overcooked. It's a good 2v2 game, and it just comes down to timing and skill. So, C tier game. It's a good minigame. Rainbow Run is just Tightrope Treachery, which is one of the worst minigames in Mario Party 1. And it continues to be a slobber knocker slugfest here. All you really do is you walk forward, then the three other players fire cannons below you. It's really hard to knock you off, especially if you're the human player on top. You have to delay them. I think they get around 60 seconds to get to the end. It's a pretty slow game. It's really hard to knock the one up the top. I just always found this game kind of lame, especially when I played 4-player local all the time. It's very hard to knock another human off. However, but overall, pretty F tier game. It's long, arduous, and you're probably gonna lose. Following that, we got Magna Carta. Magna Carta is just a 2v2 minigame where you have a little car and it has a magnet on it, and you just drop the money off into your side. Now, there's not much to this game. If you do bump into each other, there is a bit of delay. But overall, there's not much to the game. Grab money, put it at the end, get more money. Everybody gets money here. It's almost impossible not to. It's a C tier game. It's just a mini game. Remember, D tier games compared to my C tier games are slow, boring, and a bit unfair. C tier, everyone's got a chance to win, and you know. Now we have Honeycomb Havoc. Now this game is kind of infamous. It's a very long game, and I mean the reward is not even that big. It's not even like it's a battle game. It's a literal 4-player minigame in Mario Party 2. I've had some frustrating moments, and I've had some good moments. It feels good to outsmart somebody with predicting or counting ahead when the honeycomb's gonna fall. Honestly, I can only think of good times with this game. Recently, it's made me really mad during my speed run, but it doesn't take away that Honeycomb Havoc has the pressure. It has the pressure and joy it brings when you win. The reward is pretty lame, but it's a B tier game. Definite B tier game. Following that, we have Hot Jump Rope. Hot Jump Rope is from Mario Party 1. However, in this game, I think it goes up to 50 jumps. The jumps do get faster, they slow down. It's just a cleaned up version of the Mario Party 1 version, which only had 20 jumps. I definitely do recommend this one over Mario Party 1. It's just a little more zoomed out, you got some space to see, and it's kind of fun. I think it's a good mini game. It might not be the most exciting one, but it's still a fun B tier game. Following that, we have Dungeon Dash. Now, Dungeon Dash is just Desert Run from Mario Party 1. This has always been a fun game to me. It's not really much to it. It's right, left. Being in sync with your partner is really cool. I think this game's fun, but there's not much to it. It's a mini game. It's a good 2v2, but it is just a mini game. Following that, we have Flet Relay. Flet Relay is a strange game. So it's a 1v3. One player is a penguin. He has to, press A to go forward, and he has to do it by himself. Meanwhile, the relay team, which is the three of you, you guys take the fish, get a third of the way there, and then you hand it off to your next player. Now, if you press A too fast or too much, you'll slip and fall. What's really fun about this game is that obviously the first player wants to mash more, but he has a restriction. The other thing though that stinks for the 3 team though is that it takes a while for that fish to get tossed to your teammate. This is a pretty fair game. I think it's a pretty fun one. Most of these come down to the wire, and honestly, it's a good game. I'm gonna put this one in the B tier for being fair and fun. After that, we have Bumper Balloon Cars. Now, this game would be an F tier if it was a 4-player one. However, it's a battle mini game, and while the controls are horrible, they're horrible. All you do is you drive a slot car, and you want to drive your fork into the balloon and kill the other player. However, due to being a battle mini game, there's a lot of pressure that goes on in this. I mean, you could be losing like $50 at max, and that's a lot. And to be gaining around 150 something, there's a lot to play for if it's at 50. It has that sense of everybody has horrible controls here, in addition to it having a lot of pressure. For that, I'll put it in the D tier, though I think it kind of belongs in C, but it still is a horrible mini game. Following that, we have Lava Tile Island. This is just basically bumper balls, but with your fists. It's a 4-player minigame where you punch, jump, and you want to knock people off. The floor does move a little bit as well, so there's a chance that if you're not paying attention, you will fall off. This game's fun. I think the punching has always been awkward in Mario Party, which is good. I mean, it's not a bad thing. There's a few times where, you get screwed over and all that, or you could gang up on somebody, which makes it a little lame, but at the same time, I think it's a good mini game. It's not great, so it's definitely a C-tier game. Mecha Marathon. Now, this game kind of got the ball started with distance and mashing. I think Mecha Marathon is an okay game, but it's like the founder of mash distance. So what you want to do is you want to wind up your fly guy as fast as you can for 10 seconds. By doing that, you just press A and B simultaneously, and really, I just think it's I think this was the start of the mash distance era, and I got to give it its respect. So, and also the Shy Guys dip a little bit when you're flying them, so you always think it's gonna go down. So this is a B tier game. Next up, we got Day at the Races. Now, this is classic Mario Party. This is just straight horse betting in Mario Party. All you do is you choose whatever character that you think is gonna win, and you pray to Shigeru Miyamoto that your character wins. I really enjoy this game. It's a battle mini game, and honestly, you don't have any control over anything, but it has that hilarity and despair, desperation. It has every emotion you're feeling when you watch your character run. This is an S tier game, and there will be more of that, obviously, in later games. Following that, we got Car Havoc. This is exactly the same game as Mario Party 1. However, I think Car Havoc's map in Mario Party 2 is a bit easier than Mario Party 1. It's probably one of the better 2v2 games. It's a lot of fun, but while it's an A tier in Mario Party 1, it's a definite B tier here, just due to the map. All you do is press A, you can hit B to break, and you gotta make sure you both are turning together while pressing A together. Next we got Platform Peril. This is one of my favorite games in Mario Party 1, and in Mario Party 2, it does a great job as a sequel. It adds movement floors, so like it could go back or it could go forward. I couldn't think of another name besides elevator floors, but that wouldn't make sense. But yeah, there's movement panels on the ground now. It's a little bit longer, and honestly, it's and they give everybody a chance to get some type of money compared to Mario Party 1. Not an S tier game. Platform Peril will always be a great game. It's the perfect fit for Mario Universe. It's platforming, and whoever goes there fastest, wins. There's some obstacles in the way, and there is some sabotage that could happen. Platform Peril is an A tier game. Will always be fun, and it's not like too much of a loss if you lose, but it feels great to win. We got Loony Lumberjacks next. This is a 2v2 minigame where one player hits A, the other player hits B, as you guys are working together to chain down or saw down a piece of lumber. So as you're cutting the tree, you want to hit the other way so you can push and pull. It's a pretty good 2v2 game. It's solid, fun, and very simple. C tier. Next, we got Lights Out. Lights Out's a 1v3 minigame where one player has the hammer and the other three with light bulbs have to dodge them the whole time. Really fun aspect in this game is that everything goes dark for about 5 seconds when the person, so you have to run away or they can see you because it goes dark and the light bulbs turn on. This game brings like a good sense of fear, plus it's pretty fair to everybody. One person could carry, which is a great moment as well. I love 1v3s where one player can carry and save his whole team. This game is, the only thing that stinks is if your teammate dies, they do act as like a pseudo wall in the way. So you have to be careful there because their light bulbs turn off and you won't know where they are. I think this game is fair for the 1 and for the 3. I think it's fun, hectic, and like I said, scary. Perfect for Halloween. I'm going to put this as a B tier 1v3 game. If I could find the picture. There it is. Crazy Cutter, one of my favorite games in Mario Party 1, is unfortunately a battle mini game in Mario Party 2, so you don't get to play it as much. Crazy Cutter will always be fun. I'm horrible at art, but this game makes me think I can do art because I'm good at Facelift, but I'm awful at Crazy Cutter. I think everybody has a fair chance to just trace the picture. Everybody's traced in their life. Plus, the stick moves pretty well, and usually the pictures, they have slight variations to it. And it's fun to see whoever get the high score. This is an S tier game. Next we got Roll Call. Roll Call is like I know, super fun. It's a pretty underrated game. I mean, there's not much you do other than count. However, it's the idea of mentally psyching out the other player. So you can see as many boos, toads, whatever they tell you to. You press A to increase your count and B to decrease your count. The cool thing is, or the funny thing is, if you technically, quote, cheat and look at other people's answers, you start to doubt your own. Or, you know, they could be looking at yours, so maybe you want to go higher or lower, you know, who knows. So you're always on your toes here. I think it's a very fun game with other human players around. Plus, it's like the perfect talking crap game. So, A. Shell Shock. Now, Shell Shock is a 4-player minigame where you're in a tank and you have 2 hits. You can do an air shot with B or a straight line shot with A. This game I've always been on and off about. Like, the idea is really cool, but, you know, they could go after whoever's in first place so they can knock them out. And sometimes the balls are a bit finicky. I think it controls somewhat well. I just think the shots are a bit weird because the warp pipes are just so huge. However, it's a pretty solid minigame. I'm going to have to put it at C, though it is good enough to warrant a B. Sky Pilots. Sky Pilots is a game, a 2v2 game where you and your teammate control a flapping wing ship. Now, one player steers it and the other player flaps the wings. This game's kind of lame. I just think whoever has to do the controlling, it kind of gets the short end of the stick because this thing does not move. It is literally like square wheels, even though we're in the air. It just can't turn. The boosts don't really help it out, and it's pretty long. I mean, I just don't enjoy this game at all. I think there's so many other ways to do it. It's a very forgettable game. It's an F tier. Look Away. Now, this is a famous Mario Party minigame. Now, Look Away, it was so popular that people tried to act like it was their own trend on Twitter while waiting for lines and stuff. Now, the point of this game is it's a 1v3 where the one player has to look where the bottom 3 players are looking. You have 5 chances to get them, which is completely fair because this game is not easy. You can look in 5 directions as well, straight forward as well as up, down, left, and right. So, this game is intense, super fun, in real life or in Mario Party, and will be known as one of the greatest mini games out there. S tier. Next up, we got Shy Guy Says. Shy Guy Says is a 4-player mini game where you have to hit B or A. Now, Shy Guy Says was in Mario Party 1, however, it caps out in Mario Party 1, and it's a little easier that cap out versus what Mario Party 2 did. Mario Party 2 Shy Guy is the biggest troll you'll ever meet. He fakes out so much. He is so convincing, and then the speed gets so intense later on. They perfected Shy Guy Says in this game. I hate it. That means it's good because of how good the Shy Guy is. He is so evil and conniving. What a great game. A tier game. Speed Hockey 2v2. It's essentially it's essentially knock hockey, but in Mario Party form. Now, the game is good, but the problem is the rink is too small. There's a lot of intensity that could go on. I have never played this with 4 human players, but I could assume that it could probably go on for a while. I think the puck is a little bit big, the rink is a little small. However, the idea is really good. I think it's a fun mini game. This will be a B tier 2v2 game. Next, we got Move to the Music. Move to the Music is probably the hardest 1v3 game. So in this game, you have to memorize everything that the one player is. He does a 5-set dance move, and you have to copy that, but you might not have all the moments. You might be dance moves 1 in 4. So he has the choice of going A, B, Z, up, down, left, or right. There's 7 options there. So you basically have to memorize each thing. It reminds me of Clefairy Says from Pokemon Stadium. However, one player can be the champion or the hero for your team. So it's it's very fair in all aspects as only one player has to win for everyone to win. However, it also gives the one player a lot of options to take out the 3-player team. This is an A tier 1v3 game. Next, we got Grab Bag. Grab Bag, for some reason, is a battle minigame. I thought, we already lose more than enough money in battle minigames. However, Grab Bag, instead of being as horrifying as it is in Mario Party 1, where you can lose your entire fortune to somebody who's better than you, here it's essentially, it's relegated to just the battle minigame fee. I think Grab Bag's really fun. I've always had a lot of fun with Grab Bag. It's really intense, scary. I mean, you don't want anyone coming behind you and stealing all your money. However, due to the circumstances in this game, it's going to be a B tier. Hot Bomb Bomb. Now, this game was in number 1. It was a regular 4-player minigame. I think this is a great battle minigame for to have. It's just a better situation for Hot Bomb Bomb to be in. Instead of like being a risk for, oh no, I don't want to get, I don't want to be the one who loses for $10. Here, you can lose up to 50 coins in a dire situation. Hot Bomb Bomb belongs as a battle minigame. However, the game's just simple. It's just hot potato. It'll always be fun, but it'll be a C tier game. Last for the battle minigames, we have Raking Them In. While most of the battle minigames are really good, Raking Them In is the opposite of that. It's a battle minigame where you press A to try to rake in the mushrooms. You want to get golden mushrooms for more points, and you don't want any poison mushrooms. However, the raking system is awful. The game is just boring. And it's more of like, oh, please, can this get it? This is, having fun. It's just, there's nothing fun about this game. F. To cap off our last 1v3s, we have Quicksand Cash and we have Shock Drop or Roll. Quicksand Cash is Quicksand Cash is a 1v3 where the 3 players walk around, try to collect money, while the 1 controls the sand and tries to controls the sand by making it go clockwise and counterclockwise and tries to gain money that way while also eliminating the 3. Everybody wins in this one. It's an alright game. I mean, it's a game, but there's not much to it. I never really enjoyed these kind of games. Like, yeah, the 3 can take so much money from the 1 that it's just totally unfair. It's a D tier game. Shock Drop or Roll. Shock Drop or Roll is one of the best 1v3 minigames out there. This is super intense. I think it's actually harder for the 1. However, there's so many things you can do with it. I just think it's really intense, really fun, very fair, and a great 1v3 game. This is a B tier game. Oh, I almost forgot. The most important battle minigame of all time. How dare you guys let me get this far in the video without saying one of the greatest minigames of all time, Bowser's Bigger Blast. I was gonna say Biggest Blast. Now, Bowser's Big Blast is Russian Roulette Mario Party. It's the awesome ultimate game, the ultimate battle minigame. The ultimate minigame requires you just believing in the color that you think is right and also talking all the smack in the world of whoever gets it wrong or putting all the pressure on somebody else to get the wrong one. It's a very fun minigame. Will never not be fun unless you're the first guy to die in a battle minigame. Otherwise, yeah, it's one of the best minigames out there. Toad Bandstand. So Mario Bandstand was the 4-player minigame in Mario Party 1. However, Toad Bandstand is the minigame version of it in Mario Party 2. Now, you work as a 2v2 team, and you just press A at the time in the music. Honestly, pretty simple game, not much to explain to it. It's alright. I think maybe it worked better as a free-for-all, or actually maybe it works better as a 2v2 than it did as a free-for-all. However, it's just press A at the right time game, and nothing else. See. Torpedo targets. I saved the worst for last in the 2v2 minigames. It's a 2v2 minigame where one player drives a sub and the other player has to shoot a questionable homing torpedo that really doesn't work that well. You can get unlucky with your spawns, or you can keep getting hit by the other player. Sometimes it locks on, sometimes it doesn't. I think the turning is really awful in it. And it's pretty boring. I would rather be the torpedo in Banjo-Tooie, which controls well and shoots well, versus this one. This felt like the beta version of that. F. We only have free-for-all mini games left, aka 4-player mini games. So let's start off with Skateboard Scamper. Skateboard Scamper is actually the better version in Mario Party 2 than it is in Mario Party 1. It's intense. Everybody can get a little bit of money, and the course is a bit harder. You just press B to skate forward, press A to jump to avoid obstacles, and honestly, really fun game, B tier. Slot Car Derby. Slot Car Derby is just not a good game. I never enjoyed Slot Car Derby in 1, but at least 1 had 2 different maps. Slot Car Derby is always the same here in Mario Party 2, and just like Mario Party 1, it doesn't control that well. You tilt the stick, the furthest you go, left or right or whatever way direction, the fastest speed you get to. You slow down by letting go of the stick or lowering your stick control. I'm just not a Slot Car Derby guy, and like I said, at least Mario Party 1 had different options. D. Sneak and Snore. Sneak and Snore is a pretty fun minigame. I think it's very hard, but it's a fun minigame. The faster you walk, the slower you hide when essentially in a red light, green light game with the chain chomp. So if I tilt the stick forward all the way, it'll take me longer to hide in my barrel. Very fun game, very intense. It's pretty fair for everyone. However, it's, you know, at the same time, it's a pretty long game. C. Tile driver. It is whatever picture they tell you to do. You want a hip drop / ground pound. Whoever AZs correctly or hits the right spots is going to win this game. Nothing much to it. C. Tipsy Tourney. Exact same game from Mario Party 1. You control a shell and you want to uncover the entire picture off the tourney off the board. Pretty fun game. I've never had a problem with Tipsy Tourney. I think it's just a good mini game. C. Toad in the Box. Toad in the Box is strange. I think Toad in the Box might be a hard gambling game, but the last one you get. So you press A because you want to get Toad in the box compared to anything else. The worse the picture, the longer you're stunned. However, the first 3 are pretty simple. After that, 4 is pretty consistent. 5 is kind of like a gamble luck, which gives everybody time to catch up. I think that's very fair in a mini game, but at the same time, it's, you know, what are you gonna do? It's just slots essentially. C. And last but not least, Totem Pole Ground. I think this game would work better if there was not so much stun on the higher you jump. I get it. The higher you jump in ground pound in this game, the further the totem goes down. And you want to plan your map accordingly. However, there seems to be like a certain trick I've noticed during my speedruns that you always win with. And overall, there's just not much to this game. It's kind of sleeper. So I have it as a D. So overall, this is our Mario Party 2 minigames tier list. So for our S tier, we had 5 games, though. Honestly, I believe if I was gonna regrade it 5 seconds later, I would definitely consider. I would make an A+ tier and put Shy Guy Says for A+, and I would put the Mario Party 2 Abandoned Ship game for A+. Again, Hexagon Heat is just not S tier because of the aesthetic. If this is Mushroom Mix-Up, it's S tier all the way. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed my Mario Party 2 speedruns on Twitch. When I get a really good number, you guys will see it on YouTube. Other than that, don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next one. Let me know your favorite minigames, where I went wrong, where I went right, and which Mario Party you want me to do next. Peace, everybody.